You're too clingy. I need more independence. That's what my girlfriend Emily told me one evening over dinner. She said it so casually, like she was asking for extra napkins, but the words sank into me like lead. At first I felt defensive, clingy. I thought I was attentive. I checked in on her day, surprised her with coffee, planned date nights so she wouldn't feel neglected. That wasn't clinginess, it was love, or so I believed. I tried to laugh it off, to make it sound like a joke. Clingy? Come on? But Emily didn't laugh. She just looked at me with that distant expression, the one that said she'd already rehearsed this conversation in her head. So I nodded. Okay, you want space? You got it? I meant it in the moment, though my chest tightened as I said it. If that was what she needed to feel happy, then fine, I'd step back. The next day, I resisted every urge to text her good morning. My thumb hovered over my phone, typing and deleting half a dozen messages before tossing it onto the couch. Independence, I reminded myself. Give her what she asked for. It was harder than I expected. The silence felt unnatural, like cutting off oxygen. My routine had always included her, little check-ins and constant planning. Without it, the days stretched on, empty and awkward. When Friday rolled around, I didn't plan a date. Normally, I'd suggest dinner or a movie. Instead, I stayed home, ordered takeout, and played video games until midnight. The whole time, I wondered if she noticed my absence. By the second week, I started leaning into it. I worked late without guilt, grabbed drinks with coworkers, even reconnected with old friends I hadn't seen in months. The funny thing, started to feel lighter. For the first time in our relationship, my world wasn't revolving around her. And as much as I hated to admit it, there was something freeing about it. Maybe she was right. Maybe I had been holding on too tightly. 3 weeks passed before the shift happened. One evening, my phone buzzed with a string of missed calls from Emily. Then came the texts. Long ones, filled with crying emojis and words that didn't make sense at first. Finally, I answered. Her voice was trembling. Why don't you care anymore? You don't call, you don't plan anything, you don't even check on me. It feels like you've stopped loving me. I let her words hang in the air for a moment, fighting the urge to laugh at the irony. When I finally spoke, my tone was calm. I thought this was what you wanted. There was only silence on the other end. Her silence stretched until it felt heavy. I almost asked if she was still there when I heard a shaky breath. Not like this, she whispered. I just wanted, I don't know, balance, not nothing. I leaned back on my couch, staring at the ceiling. Balance. It wasn't what she asked for. She had been clear. Independence, space, freedom. I had simply followed instructions. Emily, I said slowly, you told me I was too clingy. You said you needed independence. So I gave you exactly that. Why are you upset now? Her voice broke. Because you don't even try anymore. It's like you don't care if I'm here or not. That was the first time I realized how quickly the tables had turned. 3 weeks ago, I was the one fighting for her attention. Now, she was fighting for mine. I didn't gloat. I didn't yell. I just said calmly, I stopped trying because you told me my effort was suffocating you. I thought I was respecting your boundaries. She started crying harder. I didn't mean for you to stop everything. I wanted to feel like I could breathe, not like you'd abandoned me. Her words should have moved me, but instead, they gave me clarity. I had been carrying this relationship on my shoulders, pouring in every ounce of effort while she only complained about the weight. That weekend, she showed up at my apartment unannounced. Her eyes were red, her makeup smudged, and she looked more vulnerable than I'd ever seen her. She held a grocery bag with snacks and drinks, something I usually did for her. I thought maybe we could have a movie night, she said softly, almost pleading. I let her in, but something felt off. The roles had reversed, and I wasn't sure if I liked how it felt. She curled up on the couch beside me, clinging to my arm as if afraid I might vanish if she let go. Halfway through the movie, she blurted, "Do you still love me?" The question hit me hard. I did care about her. I wouldn't have invested so much if I didn't. But after 3 weeks of silence, of finally feeling how good it was to have space of my own, the answer wasn't as simple. Instead of answering directly, I said, "Do you even know what you want, Emily?" Her lip trembled. "I just want us back. I thought I needed space, but I need you." I didn't respond right away, because the truth was, I wasn't sure I needed her in the same way anymore. The following week felt strange. Emily was suddenly the one texting first thing in the morning, calling me at lunch, and asking about my day before bed. It was like she had flipped a switch overnight. Part of me wanted to enjoy it. This was the attention I used to crave. But instead of feeling happy, I felt detached. Maybe it was because I had already gotten used to the quiet, the peace of not being tethered to my phone 24/7. One night, she cooked dinner for me, something she'd rarely done before. She greeted me at the door with candles lit, pasta simmering on the stove, and soft music playing in the background. I sat down at the table, trying to shake off the unease in my chest. "This looks great," I said. She smiled nervously. "I just wanted to show you how much you mean to me. No, I've been selfish." Her words should have softened me, but instead I felt a sharp pang of irony. She only realized my worth once she thought she'd lost it. Over dinner, she leaned forward, searching my face. "You're not pulling away, are you? Please tell me you're not giving up on us." I paused, fork in hand. The truth was complicated. I hadn't planned on giving up. But the longer this went on, the more I wondered if maybe space hadn't just given her clarity, it had given me mine too. Instead of answering, I deflected. "You're the one who wanted space. I'm just adjusting." She frowned. "Adjusting doesn't mean acting like I don't matter. You barely look at me anymore." Her voice cracked as she said it, and I knew she was scared. But I couldn't pretend everything was fine. After dinner, she curled up on the couch next to me, her head resting on my shoulder. She whispered, "I don't want independence if it means losing you." I stared at the TV, barely registering what was playing. 3 weeks ago, I would have given anything to hear those words. They felt almost too late. When she left that night, she kissed me with desperation, clinging to me like I was slipping through her fingers, and maybe I was. Lying in bed afterward, I realized something that shook me. I no longer felt the same fire I once had for her. The silence had shown me how much of myself I'd sacrificed to keep her happy. And now, I wasn't sure if I wanted to go back to the way things were. The next weekend, Emily invited me over. Her apartment looked spotless. Candles flickered on every surface, and she'd ordered my favorite takeout. She was clearly trying, but the effort felt heavy, like a performance instead of love. She sat across from me at the table, twisting her napkin between her fingers. Finally, she blurted, "Do you even love me anymore?" Her words landed like a stone in my chest. I opened my mouth, closed it again, then took a sip of water to buy myself a moment. "Why are you asking me that?" Tears welled in her eyes. "'Cause I can feel you slipping away. You're here, but you're not here. You don't call me first. You don't make plans. And when you look at me, it's like you're somewhere else." I exhaled slowly. She wasn't wrong. "Emily, when you asked for space, I gave it to you. And in that space, I realized I'd been pouring everything into us while you kept telling me it wasn't enough. I don't know if I can just unfeel that." She reached across the table, grabbing my hand. I was stupid. I thought I needed independence, but I needed balance. I pushed you away, and now I'm terrified you're gone. Her grip was tight, almost desperate. I looked at our hands, hers clinging, mine limp. The contrast said everything. "I don't want to hurt you," I admitted. "But I can't pretend I haven't changed. Those 3 weeks, they showed me what life feels like when I'm not constantly chasing someone's approval. And I liked it." She flinched, pulling her hand back. "So what are you saying? That you don't want me anymore?" I hesitated, searching her face. "No." She looked so small in that moment, stripped of the confidence she used to wear like armor. But pity wasn't the same as love. "I'm saying," I said carefully, "that I don't know if I can give you what you want anymore, because I don't even know if I want this relationship the way it used to be." Her tears finally spilled over. She stood abruptly, pacing the room. "I thought you were different. I thought you'd fight for me. And now you're just giving up." I stayed seated, calm, but firm. "I did fight for you, Emily, for a long time. But maybe the truth is, you didn't want me until you realized I might walk away." Her sobs filled the silence, echoing louder than the clink of her wine glass as she set it down too hard on the table. For the first time in our relationship, I didn't rush to comfort her. I just sat there, watching, realizing that maybe this was the independence she never expected to see. Emily's tears slowed into shaky breaths as she sat back down, her face streaked with mascara. She looked at me like I was a stranger. I don't want to lose you. I'll do anything, just don't give up on us. Her words hung in the air. A part of me wanted to reach across the table, wipe her cheeks, tell her we'd figure it out. That's what the old me would have done. But the old me had been exhausted, drained, always trying to prove my worth. Emily, I said softly, you don't get to push me away and then panic when I finally stop running after you. That's not love, it's control. She shook her head violently. No, it's not like that. I was scared. Everyone kept telling me I needed more independence, that I was losing myself in this relationship. I thought if I set boundaries, I'd feel stronger, but all I felt was empty without you. I leaned back, crossing my arms. So now you want me because you learned the grass isn't greener? Her lip trembled. I want you because I love you. I just didn't realize how much until I thought I'd lost it. The irony wasn't lost on me. How many nights had I lain awake, wishing she would say those exact words? And now, here they were, too little too late. I hear you, I said carefully. But love shouldn't only show up when it's convenient. It should have been there when I was trying, when I was giving you everything I had. She slid out of her chair and knelt beside me, clutching my hand. Please don't leave me. I'll change. I'll show you every day that I choose you. Her desperation pierced me, but not in the way she hoped. It didn't rekindle anything. If anything, it highlighted how broken this foundation really was. I don't think you understand, I said gently, pulling my hand away. I'm not angry anymore. I'm not even hurt. I'm just done chasing something that was never enough for you. Her eyes widened as if she couldn't believe what she was hearing. So that's it? You're just going to walk away? I stood, grabbing my jacket from the back of the chair. No, Emily. You walked away first. You just didn't expect me to keep walking. She collapsed onto the couch, sobbing into her hands as I moved toward the door. My chest felt heavy, but not with regret. It was the weight of clarity, the finality of knowing I no longer belonged in that room, in that relationship. For the first time in a long time, I felt free. Walking out of Emily's apartment that night felt surreal. The cool air hit my face, and with it came the realization that something inside me had shifted permanently. I wasn't angry, I wasn't broken, I was finally free. The days that followed were eerily quiet, but not in the suffocating way they had been before. This silence felt peaceful. My phone wasn't buzzing with constant drama. No late-night tears, no guilt trips. Of course, Emily tried, texts, calls, long paragraphs spilling into my voicemail about how she'd made a mistake, how she couldn't imagine her life without me, how she'd prove her love if I gave her one more chance. But each message felt like a faint echo of something I used to need. Now, I didn't. I had stopped measuring my worth by how much I could keep someone else happy. Instead, I started focusing on myself. I picked up running again, spent weekends with friends I'd neglected, even signed up for a class I'd been putting off. For the first time in years, my happiness wasn't dependent on whether someone else wanted me. And the more I poured into myself, the more I realized how much energy I had wasted trying to hold together a relationship where love felt like a test I was destined to fail. Weeks later, I bumped into Emily at a cafe. She looked tired, eyes hollow, as if the weight of her choices had finally settled on her shoulders. She froze when she saw me, coffee cup trembling in her hands. You look good, she said softly, almost ashamed. Thanks, I replied. My voice was steady, calm. I didn't ask how she was. I didn't need to. Her lip quivered like she wanted to say more, but I just gave her a polite nod and walked out. No anger, no bitterness, just closure. Because the truth was simple. She wanted independence, and I gave it to her. But what neither of us expected was that in giving her space, I found myself. And once I found myself, I realized I was never going to settle for being called clingy for loving too much. So when people ask me what happened between us, I tell them this. She thought she wanted space, but what she really gave me was clarity. And clarity, it turns out, was the best gift she could have ever given me. If you've made it this far, go ahead and hit the like button, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments.